guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to do Rachel's weekly challenge. Again, I'm a little bit late to the party, unfortunately. But yep, I'm doing her collage little painted stamped tags that she did. I can't remember what week we were up to, so I do apologise for that. But obviously the details will be in the title of the video. So I've got some book pages here. This is what I would sort of describe as a bit of a smaller book. The page sizes, I think, on this are like 6x4. So yeah, slightly smaller. So I'm just going to tear some out of the book like that. Okay. Okie dokie. Right. And then I'm just going to take each book page and kind of collage it up. Now I know that Rachel used pretty neutrally kind of papers. Rachel has a lot of neutral papers. My papers tend to be a bit brighter than that. But, you know, that's fine. I'm just going to go with what I've got and just kind of hope for the best. So, yeah, I'm just going to get collage in. So I'm just going to take some of these and we're just going to kind of lay them down. Oops. Lay them down. Now, I'm really going to try not to overthink this. I am terrible for overthinking collage. But these especially, you know, I really don't need to overthink these because they're going to be... what's the word? Cut down. Yeah, cut down into tags. So, yeah, now I'm just thinking, because I thought I'm going to use my dragonfly stamp. So this one is available on my website at the moment, although it seems to be selling quite quickly. So, yeah, if you do like the look of it, you might have to be quick. Although I might be able to get hold of some more. We'll just, you know, have to kind of hope for the best. But, yeah, anyway, that dragonfly stamp, but I'm now thinking actually that's probably going to be a little bit on the big side, because I was thinking I would do 2 tags to a page, but if I'm using that stamp it's probably a bit big, so I'm going to have to just use one page, I think. But that's fine, it's all fine. So yeah, just going to use some of my scraps here. Okay, now obviously this is a little bit problematic if I'm going to be cutting my tag like this, because normally I would kind of try and put my glue where the actual edges of the tag are going to go, but in this instance I don't really know, because obviously it's going to be cut down. So yeah, it's slightly more problematic, but that's fine, because, you know, who knows, might put some stitching or something around it anyway. So right, that's one. Okay, oops. And I'm really going to try not to overthink the collage in. And I've talked about this so many times, but I mean, honestly, collage is not really kind of my natural thing. So it's very easy for me to just sit overthinking it. So yeah, I mustn't do that, because like I say, you know, we're going to paint over it anyway. Only lightly. So, you know, you will kind of see some bits, but not, you know, not too much, if that makes sense. So yeah, I really don't want to get too bogged down, because, you know, that's just pointless if we're covering a lot of it up anyway. Okay, I don't really like the straight edges, so, you know, wherever I've got straight edges I do tend to kind of try and tear them down. This is that William Morris paper in this colour. Isn't that just so pretty? That was kind of hard to cover that up, but you know, that's how it is. And, you know, ridiculous behaviour anyway, because like I always say, you know, I can actually print more off. I'm not sure why I get so hung up on not being able to use printables that you can just reprint. I mean, what on earth is that about? I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. Okay. Oh, I'm being really eclectic with my collaging, so I hope I don't regret this and kind of then think, oh no, I've been too mixy. Not matchy, but mixy this time. Yeah, I hope I don't kind of think that, but like I say, we're going to be painting over the collage. So, I mean, it's just really to get kind of more interesting texture, really, rather than anything else, I suppose. Well, I say that. I mean, I don't know. I haven't actually made the tags yet, so I don't know quite how they will pan out. I'll just get rid of that straight edge. Okay, so perhaps we'll have that on that way. So, I mean, I've got all sorts going on here. This is Autumn Blush. I've got the Damask. I've got that Brown Butterflies kit. You know, I mean, I never in a million years would put those things together ordinarily. But because I'm trying to be very, very good at not, you know, worrying about whether things are matching, I'm just going for it. Okay. Right. Again, this is more of that Autumn Blush. I'm so sorry if you can hear the printer. I'm quickly printing out some things for my next video, so I apologise for paint on my hands. That's from my, well, not last video actually, to be fair, but my last prep for my next video, if you see what I mean. So yeah, I mean, I'm actually filming this early in the morning on a Sunday. Hopefully I'm going to film the other Roxy's Weekly Challenge from the week before after this one. But I made a mistake and I'm having to do a reprint now because I printed off, well, I didn't print off the wrong thing, but I went to use things in the wrong way. So I'm having to kind of like do a quick print run. So I thought, well, actually, whilst that's printing, rather than just sit around kind of wasting my time, I'll get on and do her next weekly challenge. So hence I'm doing this one. And then hopefully I'm kind of really utilising my time. Okay. Yeah, she's come up with some really fun things, hasn't she? You know, I did join in a couple of her things from last year, but this year I think she's come up with even nicer things, I have to say. You know, really lovely projects. Well, I mean, she came out with really lovely projects last year as well, but yeah, this year I think she's really come up with some even nicer things. So I'm sure that you're all probably watching and enjoying all the things that she's doing. And I'm just going to say this because I just always assume that everybody knows who Rachel is. But I do sometimes then get comments saying, oh, who's Rachel that you're talking about? So this is Rachel from Roxy Creations. And yeah, if you haven't obviously checked her channel out, you know, do go over and check it out. She has lovely things on there and super talented, well, I was going to say seamstress, collage artist, you know, junk journaler, yeah, all sorts really. So yeah, she has lovely ideas, lovely creations, you know, and she also has like the most amazing collection of antique things. She seems to just get the most wonderful antique type stuff. She lives in Italy, and I would love to go to one of those antique markets in Italy because, my goodness, she seems to just get so many nice things that I never ever would see here. So yeah, I don't know whether that's just Italy in general or whether she's just lucky to live somewhere where they have lots of things nearby, but definitely she has amazing finds. You know, I find myself kind of like watching in envy when she shows some of her book pages and things like that. They're just incredible and so old. She really seems to get much older stuff than we get over here. So like I say, I'm not sure whether that's just Italy generally or whether that's kind of the region where she lives, you know, or maybe it's a particular shop that she goes to, or not shop, but, you know, market or antique centre or whatever. I don't know, but yeah, she does seem to get amazing things. Or, you know, who knows, maybe that's just Italy. Maybe Italy is kind of full of amazing antique-y type things. I'm not sure, but yeah, definitely she gets some really lovely things. So I have managed to stick to a bit more of a neutral thing going on this one, so that's good. Right, okay. Just glue that down. Now, obviously you can tell, I mean, I've gone all over the edges of these. Again, you know, not too worried because obviously I'm going to be cutting them down. So I'm going to do obviously a variety now because I'm not going to use that dragonfly for every single one because obviously, like I say, it's actually, you know, larger than I'd kind of thought. So yeah, I'm going to mix it up. Now I'm just having a look through to see what other stamps I've got laying around here. Hold on, let me just grab some. Okay, I've bought a whole collection of other stamps. So I mean, hopefully we're good to go now. So right, let's get going. Now, which was the first one that I did? I can't even remember, to be honest. Might have been this one. So this one I'm going to leave as a larger tag so that we can do one with the dragonfly. So I'm just going to cut it down. And at this point, I'm thinking, I wonder if Rachel cut hers down first or painted them first, actually. Just because I'm thinking, actually, I wonder if I would be better off painting them first. Again, I can't remember. I'm just the most shocking person for not being able to follow instructions. Yeah, I just have got a memory like a sieve, so that's definitely not a very helpful thing. I just can never remember. I'm always like, oh, which stage first? Which thing did they do first? So yeah, even the most simple things like, did she paint the book pages and then cut them, or did she cut them first? I mean, what is wrong with me? I'm thinking she probably painted them first. Yeah. No, I can't remember actually. Now I'm thinking maybe she didn't. Maybe she didn't. Oh, honestly. So I'm going to trim mine up anyway, and then I'm going to paint them, I think, before I make the shapes of the tags, other than that first one that we've already done. But yeah, for the rest, I'm going to kind of like cut them down, paint them, you know, sorry, trim them up like this, paint them, and then cut the tag shapes. Okay, so hopefully this is going to all be fine. I'm actually thinking perhaps these are still going to be not quite right. Perhaps I should have used bigger book pages, to be honest. I thought these would be perfect because I thought, oh, they're, you know, slightly smaller. They're going to be really good for tags, but actually in hindsight, I probably should have used regular, what shall we call regular size book pages, and yeah, that probably would have panned out better, but never mind. Okay. Now, Rachel used kind of like, well, she used a couple of different paints actually, but one of the paints she used this like chalky finish paint, and it was really nice, I have to say. It looked lovely. I don't have any of that. I've just got my regular acrylic paints. And funnily enough, I had been using paints a bit this week anyway, so we must have been like on the same wavelength, Rachel and I. And yeah, I'm going to use my paints. Now I'm going to spray some water on them like she did to, yeah, thin them down and make them a bit more chalky, hopefully. So let's see how that goes. So I've got my water sprayer. Okay. Now, I'm just wondering how I want to apply my paint. Really could do with buying myself some new paintbrushes as well. So, yeah, I'm going to take a trip this week, I think, to the range, and I'm going to treat myself to, well, a couple of things. They've got a lovely set of acrylic paints that I've had my eye on for a while. And, I mean, it's really cheap, actually. It's only something like £6 or something. And you get, like, a ton of different acrylic paints in there. So that's kind of been on my radar for a while, thinking, oh, I'm gonna buy that. Well, this week I am going to buy it, and I may treat myself to a new pack of paintbrushes because, my goodness, mine are the worst for wear because my daughter's constantly using them. Let me go and wash one. Hold on. Okay, so I'm back armed with my paintbrush. It's a big paintbrush. It's a, you know, normal one for like decorating your house with. But I thought that would be brilliant because we're going to be able to paint over these pretty quickly. So let's use the acrylic paint. Oh no, my paint's not coming out. I'm so sorry about this. Sometimes these things just, you know, you can't kind of factor in all what's going to happen. This is where I haven't used this particular colour for a long time. It's just got like a whole coat on the top now. Oh dear. Yeah, it's rapidly turning into a disaster video, so there we go. Oh, lucky I've got the water to thin this down, because look at it, it's just like paste now. Paste rather than paint, so. Right. Okay. Let's just take that. Okay, right. It's not really thinned down enough, so let's just thin that down a bit more. Just just going to even spray it onto here. So this is again probably how not to do things, but anyway, right. I'm going to have to dry this with my heat dryer because my goodness, I have saturated that beyond belief now. Okay, let's just... Okay, this I think is going to be a bit better. So let me just mop this down so I don't now cover the backs. I mean, not that that really matters because we will be covering the backs, but... I mean, honestly, did not see Rachel doing all of this, making such a hash of everything. She seemed to not make such a hash of things, but... Okay. Right, that's that one. So we've done 2. I'm just going to, yeah, spray down again. Quick wipe of the table again. Okay, and then just, yeah, go over this one. Okay. Oops. It's not too bad. And then again, quick wipe. Last one now. Right. Let's just put a bit more water. Okay, right. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, definitely that first one, let's be honest, it did not go on like a chalky thin wash at all. It just went on like thick paint. So, yeah, I hadn't watered that one down enough. These have gone a lot better, I have to say. So, yeah, that was a how not to. Hopefully the rest did improve. So, let's just mop this up now. Okay, so I'm going to quickly dry these off and then come back. Okay, so we've got our tag bases done now. So yeah, that took a while, didn't it? So to get to this stage. Okay, so what we're going to do is, do we want to cover them with the backing paper first, or do we want to cut them down? Again, I'm trying to remember what Rachel did. I think she did cut hers down into tag shapes first. So I'm going to cut them down here into sort of smaller pieces. So, yeah. That one, I have to say these look now minuscule. Like, oh, these are really tiny. I mean, I don't really do small very often. So, yeah, for me, these are very titchy tags. But anyway, let's do one. Oh, here we go. Right. So, yeah, I've brought along some of my crafty individual stamps because I thought perhaps these would be better. Actually, yeah, although I'm thinking these look like, you know, minute, they're the right size for the stamps. So, no, I must be brave now and just carry on. It was just when I first saw them, I thought, oh, they are really tiny. But, yeah, hey, that works. Tiny does work with those stamps. So, yeah. Just take them down, and then this one. And the only reason why I'm cutting them, you know, in again like this is just because otherwise they looked quite wide to me. You know, I mean, they weren't looking square, but, you know, kind of slightly more square rather than rectangular. So that's why I'm kind of trimming them in. Now, this one I'm leaving massive because we're going to use that dragonfly stamp. Yeah, I mean, actually, that is, you know, pretty big on there. So, yeah, I'm going to leave that size. Right, so the next thing that she did was covered her backs. So I've got this internal envelope piece. So we can use this for covering one. So just again with my Fabri-Tac, just go in around the edge there. Okay. There we go. And yeah, just pop that one down. Oh, do you know what? I'm thinking I'm going to leave that flap on there as a bit of a fun feature. Although, to be honest, then I won't be able to get a, you know, ribbon or anything in there. Well, we'll see. I might or I might not keep that. So here I've just got some fly sheet. So I'm just going to put this onto the back of these. Yeah, can I get 3 on here? No. Thought that was probably being a bit ambitious, but hey, why wouldn't you try? So, okay. Oops. And actually, I thought these were going to feel a bit flimsy, but to be honest, they've thickened up a lot. So, you know, they're pretty good good thickness now. It's probably easier to spread the glue from the other side rather than the painted side. So yeah, don't want to scrape my paint off now after that big saga of trying to water it down and put it on. So okay, there we go. And yeah, I'll just put this on this end so that I've got then a straight edge to cut it by. Okay, right, that's those two backed. And then I've got some of my food colour paper, and this is on lined papers. But I thought this would be fine because these have got a slightly greenish tinge to them. You know, because that autumn blush paper with the ducker colour, that's just showing through slightly. So I thought we could definitely get away with this colour on the reverse. So yeah, let's go for it. Okay, that's that one. And then this one. So I hope everyone's having a good day. Hope you're doing some crafting, having a nice time. Have you done the Rachel's Weekly Challenge? You know, or perhaps you've done some of them, but not others. Have you done this one? How did yours go? Did you make such a meal of doing your tags as I have, or were you a little bit better than me? Well, maybe a lot better than me at doing yours. Honestly, sometimes I just don't know what's wrong with me, but things sometimes just seem to take me a while to catch on. Actually, I'm thinking this one may be put on here. So yeah, I'll just put that. Okay, so I mean, I've got, oh gosh, I've actually got like loads now. 7, I think. So I mean, as if I'm going to do 7. I'll probably be lucky to do 3, like I said. Again, I'm thinking I must be like a really slow crafter because Rachel flew through hers. You know, she ended up with quite a significant pile of them at the end. Doubting that I'm going to end up with anywhere near the pile she did. But hey, let's try and get a bit of a move on now. Right, let's cut these down. Okay, I'll just cut these off and then they'll be easier to cut down. Should really put my glasses on because I now can't see where I'm cutting. Okay, just trim that off at the back. That one. Trim that top bit. Like that. Okay, and like that. Right. That one. And yep, let's take this one. I'm looking very wrinkly on these backgrounds, so not feeling very happy with that. Hopefully that's just where they're sort of a bit wet still, but who knows. There we go. And then these two, again, just gonna get that off there. It's just a bit easier to do if there's only kind of one on there. Otherwise you've got it constantly kind of flapping around, you know, with the weight of the other side. So there we go. Right. Oh, and the big one. Nearly forgot the big one. Oops. Okay. Okay. Trim that down there. Now I did say about leaving that flap. I don't know whether that's going to look good, but let's leave it anyway. So yeah, again, going to go with that kind of shape, you know, using the original shape as kind of inspiration there. So yeah, we might think that's a nice feature. We might think it looks rubbish, but I can always cut it off afterwards. If I cut it off first, you can't then put it back. Well, I mean, I guess you could, but you're not really going to, are you? If we're honest. So yeah. Right, let me get my stays on. Now, do I want to go for black? I've been treated by the lovely Michelle to these different colours. So now I'm like, oh, perhaps I should mix it up a bit. I think the dragonfly. Oh, do I want to do the dragonfly in a different colour? Oh, let's go for it, shall we? Oh, I must stop procrastinating. Right, put that on that block. Now, this is not really a big enough block for this stamp, but, you know, I'm just hoping it's going to work out okay. So, and I think what I would do is just stamp this down a couple of times onto some scraps, just to make sure that I'm getting, you know, good kind of finish from it. So let's use this bit page. Okay. Oh, could do with sort of standing up really. Okay. Right. So just put that down again. Let me use that out. Right, let's try. Okay. That's better. Oh, that's such a lovely stamp, isn't it? Really do love it. So yeah, let's go in again. So plenty of ink. So this colour is, I think I went with the black cherry. Isn't it just a scrummy colour? I love it. Absolutely love it. So, right, let's put this down. I'm going to do it to the side. Just because the angle that I'm kind of doing this, it's kind of easier really from the side. Don't think I've got that very straight on there now, but don't think it really matters too much. So, press that down. Oh my goodness. How scrumptious does that look? I love it. I love that colour of that black cherry on that background. Doesn't that just look so pretty? Oh, I love it. Right, that one. Okay, let's go with a different one just because I don't want them all looking the same. Plus, obviously, I've now cut my other tags pretty small, so that wouldn't fit on the other tags anyway. So let's go for this one. Let's craft the individuals one. I don't think, yeah, that's not really got any stick on it. So that's fine. What we will do is, oh, let's do her in black, actually. I might do a couple of her. I'll just see even how she comes out. So I do always like to just do a stamp out first, you know, especially if they're a bigger stamp. Because, you know, I think they kind of require a couple of stamping tries, you know, to get them smothered completely in ink. So that's kind of just, yeah, just something that I kind of like to do. So she's coming out a bit better now. Okay. So take our first tag. I mean, it doesn't matter at all which one we put them on, but I'm just going to put her on this one. Oops, let's put her down here. Okay. Oh, look. How pretty does that look? So, I mean, obviously these are coming out, you know, fainter, because the whole point was, you know, you've got the chalky finish tags. So, you know, if you're thinking, oh, well, she came out a lot clearer on like this than she did on there, it's because we're doing the chalky finish, you know, i.e. going over the chalky kind of paint. Obviously, they're coming out a lot clearer on this book page than they are on those, because this book page hasn't got the, you know, the paint on it. Oops. But that's what makes them look a bit different, you know. So I'm going to do this one on here. Now, just in case I can't fit all of this on, I'm going to kind of have it overhanging a bit so as I hopefully get the whole of that duck on there. Okay, there we go. And then I've got this lady. Now, I have to say, she is a bit of a finicky stamp in that, you know, sometimes she's not the clearest anyway. So I'm hoping that this is going to actually work okay on the paint. this horrible feeling she's not really going to be clear enough on there. Perhaps I won't do her, actually, because I do know that about that stamp. So let's try this one instead. Again, this is a Crafty Individual stamp. I do always say it. I love Crafty Individual stamps. Yeah, so if you haven't seen their stamps, they've got a website, craftyindividuals.co.uk, I think is the website. Do go over in there and check them out because they have the most lovely stamps. Now, word of kind of, not warning, but, you know, just kind of to give you the heads up, you do have to mount their stamps, which I have to be honest, I did find that off-putting when I very first kind of stumbled across their stamps. And I thought, oh, that sounds complicated. It's not complicated. I do have a video way back when. I think I've got a little series using Crafty Individual stamps when I did like a collaboration with them. So do go over and hit that, you know, check that out if you're wondering, because we do mount the stamps and things in that video. And like I say, you know, although I did find the concept of having to mount them pretty off-putting, actually, in reality, it's fine. You know, you don't have to kind of find that off-putting at all. So, yeah, don't kind of let that put you off because their stamps are so lovely. And to be honest, they're really good value. So the fact that you have to mount them yourself is kind of counteracted by the fact that they're so, you know, so good value for the beautiful, intricate stamps that you get. So I might do two with this window if it comes out like a nice clear stamp. So just go in there like that. This is by AB Studio. I've had this for quite a long time, so hopefully they still sell it. But yeah, I've had it for quite a long time. I have to be honest, I've only used it, I think, once or twice. Not because I don't love it, because I really do love it. But just like all these things, you buy them and then just, you know, don't end up using them really. You know, as quickly as or as often as you should. Or as often as you think you will, perhaps I should say. But yeah, the beauty of stamps, and I always say this, stamps are one of my favourite things to buy, is because actually once you've bought them, you've got them forever. You know, well, I mean, I say forever, obviously they maybe would need replacing, but to be honest, I think in my whole time of stamping and crafting, I don't think I've really had to replace any stamps. Oh, one set, but yeah. So, I mean, they're very, very good value for money because you can use them over and over and over and over. Oh, my goodness. Just noticed how crooked that window is on that stamp. So, yeah, going to have to do something about that. I'm not sure what yet. But, right, let's crack on because this is just, oh, I feel like it's taking me forever. Right, okay. Going to cut this down a sort of little bit to try and kind of like straighten this out a bit. So just going to kind of like take it at an angle there and then just very slightly here and here, which will hopefully square that off a bit. There we go. So it looks straighter now, so that's better. We've kind of squared the tag off. We have made it even smaller, it's got to be said, but I'm okay with that. That's okay. So then we're going to just do our little, you know, corners. So that one. Okay, this one. Oops. Okay, this one. Gosh, I'm being really rubbish. Why I'm not doing that thing where you take the corner across is beyond me. Perhaps I should. Yep, that would be helpful, wouldn't it? Okay, and then this one. And then that dragonfly one, I'm still debating whether to leave that tag, not tag, flap, you know, the flap on the top of the tag. So, yeah, I'm still deciding. I do quite like that whole idea. So, right, let's get rid of these. Okay, right. So, these are our chalky tags. Now, I think what I will do is I will ink around them. Yeah, do we want to ink around them? Yeah, I think ink around with the blendy tool. So, if I can see it anywhere. Oh gosh, I'm so sorry. My desk is so messy today. Well, I mean, it's messy all the time, let's be honest, but yeah, just seems even worse today. Worse than ever. And sometimes we just have days like that. There we go. And then these couple. Love this one. This is probably my favourite one so far. So I don't know whether it will be by the end, but yeah, at the moment it's my favourite. Now I think what I'm going to do is, I've got my label stamps here, and again these are on my shabbydabbydoodah.co.uk website at the moment. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stamp a couple of labels. So I'm just going to use this little sort of offcut piece from the, you know, the backing, and I'm going to just stamp a couple of labels now. Oh, which ones? I mean, these are pretty tiny tags. So I was going to go with this label here. Yeah, I think that is the, yeah, I think that is the one to use. Oh gosh, back to my filthy stamp block. Let me try and get a slightly smaller one. Oh my goodness. No. Oh, perhaps this week when I go and treat myself to those Philip paints, perhaps I should treat myself to some new stamp blocks as well. Oh gosh, look at this date of this. Right, okay, so I'm going to struggle to do this. Oh, that's fine. Right, okay. Just going to have to do this on the end. So again, not the recommended way to do any of this, to be honest, but okay. So I'm just going to stamp a bunch of these labels. I should have done that coming downwards, shouldn't I? So I don't disturb the ones I've just stamped. Okay. There we go, like that. Okay. Right, let's get my stay-ons out of the way, so that's one less thing on the desk at least. Just going to cut these labels out. I have to say, I've used these label stamps quite a bit already. I've only had them for a couple of weeks, and like I said, just put them in my shop, but I kept you know, a set back for myself. Oh my goodness, I've used them so much. They're a really nice stamp. Really very useful. I can see myself using these a lot. So yeah, I'm just going to take my labels and pop them down somewhere on the tags. So that one, I think, on there to the side. But let's bulk cut these. And then I've got them all ready to go, and then we can bulk ink them and bulk stick them. Bulk trim them off. And then hopefully put like some little tabs on our tags. Then we'll be done. So sorry, this just feels like it's taken me forever today. I don't know what's going on. I think I'm probably being way over ambitious, to be honest, thinking I'm going to do 6 of these. So, well, 7 I think I've got, including that massive one. So yeah, perhaps I will just do 3 to be realistic, you know, in the hope of getting these actually completed. So, and actually, I'm thinking as a bit of a time saver, I could probably just cut half of this stamp down, because let's be honest, probably going to cut this in half anyway. Or not half, but you know, have it hanging off, because I love that look. So yeah, let's save ourselves a little bit of time, because I realise that my video's been dragging on forever. So yeah. Okay, right. Okay, we've glued that one down, so that's one. Let's bring these in. So yeah, let's try that one. Oh my goodness, how gorgeous does that look? Like that. So just hanging off at that edge. This one. Oh, I don't want that one. I'm going to have it there, I think. Oops, I was about to glue the non-inked side. What's going on with my ability to talk? Oh my goodness. It's because I haven't had breakfast. No, I'm saying that, let's be honest. I quite often lose the ability to speak. It's very hard, you know, trying to talk through videos constantly. Oh, this one, I'm going to have the whole label. So, yeah, apologies. I think this was the only one I didn't trim down. And I said, oh, I'm going to leave it because I was cutting it off. And now, look, no, not cutting it off. Because this one I thought, actually, let's have in the centre. So, kind of popped over that butterfly, dragonfly. Not a butterfly. So, like that. I'm going to round the corners on this one. So take my corner rounder like that. I am going to leave this flap because I think that's making it look quite interesting, to be honest. So yeah, I'm going to try and do something different. So like that. Oh, loving how that looks. Right, let's put these two to one side because we're not going to get time to do those. That's just way over ambitious, to be honest. Okay, right, let's trim these little labels down. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Oh my goodness, I'm loving how these look. Oh, I might not even bin those labels. I'm just hoarding those now. Well, because I might use those on something else. Now here, this is my French papers, and I'm just going to take this little portion here, which has obviously got lots of words, because Rachel stamped a word then on her tags. But I'm thinking we could just use these words. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to tear this down, but I'm going to give it a try. I mean, they are pretty tiny, so for me, this is a bit of a struggle, but let's just see if I can tear this out carefully. So there we go. I've just got the word Paris. Again, just ink that up. Oh my goodness. I mean, weird because, yeah, why would we have the word Paris on that dragonfly? But hey, just improvise and go with what you've got. And to be honest, although it's kind of got no place there, how awesome does that look? I love how it looks. Now that's nothing. You know, that tag is literally just, you know, a bit of collage, bit of paint, the stamp, and then I'm leaving this flap. It's just for interest, for no other reason than just a bit of interest. But my goodness, doesn't that just look gorgeous? And we've got the label with just that word Paris. Oh my gosh, what a lovely tag. Love that one. Right, okay. So, yeah, again, we've got more Parisian words here with the ducks. Weird. Just super weird. Oh, should we even have the word chocolate on there? Oh, that's probably even weirder, isn't it? But hey, oh well, let's go for it. So I'm going to put this little section, I think. Oh my goodness, if I can tear this down. Okay. So across here. Okay. So I'm thinking. I mean, I was thinking kind of have that by the label, but obviously because I've done a whole section, that's kind of, oh gosh, that's like over that duck's face. Cover the whole face up. Perhaps I need a smaller word on there. Okay. I mean, I'm covering some of that butterfly now, but strangely, I don't seem to mind with that. It was when we covered that duck's face, it seemed really mean. Maybe that duck sort of seemed to have more of a personality than these butterflies, I don't know. But I couldn't bring myself to do it. I thought, oh, that's just horrible. Why would I cover his face? Oh, well, also it then looked weird because just his bum was hanging out, you know, which that's not a good look, is it? To just see that duck's bottom hanging out. It wasn't really his bottom, it was just the whole of the back of him, if I'm being truthful. Let's go for that and have two little labels. Although now I'm thinking, oh, maybe that would have looked good on that one. Oh, let's just go for this, right. So, yeah, layering that over that label. How gorgeous does that look? Okay, right, last one. Right, I'm just glanced at the time. Oh my goodness, 28 minutes. I'm so sorry. So sorry. Well, I hope that you've had fun, even if I have now dragged this out a lot. Yeah, I hope it's been fun being here. Okay, right. Gonna have to just crack on now a little bit faster. Oh, that's not good there. Right, let me just take this. Right, there's no way I could have torn this one out, so I'm just going to have to just cut this one down. Okay. Just ink around that. Oh, again, I think that's quite cute there. Okay. Like that. Honestly, I mean, these are super simple, aren't they? But they do look very pretty. So, yeah, you know, goes to show that you really don't have to kind of like put, you know, loads of stuff on things. You don't have to smother them in things for them to look gorgeous, you know, just very minimalistic stuff. Can make things look really pretty. I'm going to have that down the bottom, you know, and actually butted up against the, you know, the bottom run of the tag. I know that sounds weird, but it actually looked quite good there, didn't it? So like that. Literally stuck on the bottom of the tag. So yeah, very, very pretty. Now, just quickly finish these off, and I might even just finish one of them because I'm horrified by how long this has taken me. So yeah, we might only do one. Oh, let's do this one because this is just calling me because it looks so girly and pretty. So, because it's got those ice cream kind of colours with it, with the, you know, the pink and the blue. So I'm thinking on this one, use maybe one of these. So these are like my lovely wide eyelets that the lovely Marianne had treated me to. So yeah, I've kind of hoarded them a little bit, but I have forced myself to use them from time to time because I do love them. And I just think, oh, if you don't use them, why have them? You know, and I've done this so often in my life, and I've talked about this so many times, but you know, when you love things the most is when I hoard things the most and then can't bring myself to use them, which the irony, because then of course, you know, you might as well not have them, mightn't you? You know, instead of really enjoying them, you don't end up using them at all. I'm thinking maybe just this pink ribbon, to be honest. Maybe even just thread it through. You know, like a, well, like a ribbon threaded through, let's be honest. So, yeah, let's put that, oh my goodness, through here. Oh, that's very fiddly. Get my pokey tool and give it a helping hand. Okay. Okay. Like that. Oh, that looks so pretty, doesn't it? I love the fact that we've got those ice creamy colours. Okay, we'll do one more because I just feel rubbish, like failing badly to not do one more and get it complete. So let's do this one with the window. I mean, the dragonfly one, luckily, because we've kept that flap on the envelope, it doesn't even need a tab. So that one also is complete, you know, by sheer chance. It's complete. Right, pulling in my sari silk here. Okay, should we keep this really, really pretty and really neutral? So I'm not going with an eyelet here because I'm going to do a bow. And I always just think, you know, if you're doing a bow, to be honest, I'm not saying definitely don't use an eyelet, but oops. But I do think, you know, sometimes that's a waste because you don't necessarily even see the eyelet, to be honest. Right, let's try and be a bit less lengthy with the sari silk. So, yep. Oh my goodness, how yummy is this looking? Snip that there. Oh, gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Right, okay, so we have completed 3. This one just needs a thingamabob, you know, something at the top. And then the other 2 need kind of labels and whatnot putting on them. But yeah, aren't they just so pretty? I mean, I love that chalky finish, and, you know, just a totally different look, isn't it? You know, instead of having the kind of really, you know, vibrant kind of black that you would normally get when you stamp, you know, or colour, they just look really different, don't they? So yeah, I really hope that you like them, and thank you so much, Rachel, to you for the brilliant idea. And yeah, I will obviously put the hashtag for the weekly challenge, and thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks then. Bye.